viewers, welcome back to Maxwell Starr's beer review. Tonight we're going to take a look at the hipster beer, Pabst Blue Ribbon. It's been around for a very long time, 1893 it says here on the can. This is the original Pabst Blue Ribbon beer. Nature's choicest products provide its privileged flavor. Only the finest in hops and grains are used. Selected as America's best in 1893. And I believe... Okay, so yeah, established in Milwaukee in 1844. I believe that when it was selected as America's best is when it won the Blue Ribbon Award or something like that. Or it may have actually been something where they got its name from being a particular lager that was actually bottled with... a blue ribbon around the neck of the beer. So, as for the absolute history on this particular beer, I don't know. I just drink it. You know, that whole liked it before it was cool kind of thing. But now it's just totally like passe and stuff. Okay. This particular beer is 4.9% ABV. Standard American adjunct lager from the States. I'm getting rid of these damn glasses. Yeah, what can I say about Pabst Blue Ribbon other than the fact that it recently just showed up? I'm going to take my jacket off here. It recently just showed up in NV liquor stores. We don't normally get this particular kind of beer. It's typically an American beer, only available in the States, but for some reason, Sleeman brews it in Canada, and on the Ontario market, they finally decided to bring it over here. I've had this sitting in the fridge for a while, so I better give it a drink and pop her open and give it a pour. Put that in my Stella glass here. Very fruity hops aroma come off the top of that one. But it's also got quite a decent head retention as well. Look at that. It even formed a nice mushroom top out on the outside of the glass. Now, color-wise, that's a nice, like a straw golden color. Let's see if you can really get a good look at that. And carbonation. Lots of carbonation in there. Brassy, golden, straw color. White head. Pretty much just a pure white head, maybe a little bit darker than white, like a little more yellow than white. But for the most part, just a foamy head. It's dying off, but it's got some pretty decent head retention for what's essentially a macro beer. Yeah. Giving it a sniff here. It's got a very herbal, fruity, kind of like a hop smell. It's got a little bit of citrus in there, as well as maybe perhaps a bit of like a green apple. And sorry, just recovering from a cold. My throat's cleared up now, so. Anyway, even that smell. There's a slight musty cardboard smell to it, but for the most part, it's got this nice smell of like a fruity green apple. Like a citrus, like a little bit of, maybe like a lemon. And a sweet malt smell. There's a little bit of sweetness to that malt. And it's kind of like this musty sweetness, so it's a sweet malt, but it's a little cardboardy. Head's almost died off, but you know what? For appearances, based on the fact that it's a lager, it actually looks really nice. And based on it's a lager, it's a nice smell as well. Sniff at it long enough, the sweetness gets stronger, and it almost adopts like a red fruit quality, like a red apple. It smells nice and it looks nice, which is something good it's got going for it. But anyway, let's give it a taste. It's got a little bit of an herbal hop that takes over in the back of the roof of the mouth. Across the front of the tongue and down the sides of the tongue, it's got this sweet malt that make it almost taste like you're drinking apple juice. Maybe a little bit of a more fruity, like a cherry kind of taste along the sides. Maybe not quite cherry. Maybe just that sweet apple. And in the back, you get this. It's a very dry beer, which is nice. But you also get this almost like a cardboardy texture in the very back, as well as a little bit of a corn kind of breadiness. Not so much cornbread, but more like this toasted grain. It's actually quite nice. And it's the lingering, almost herbal, earthy bitterness that sticks in the back of the throat. Has this nice little bit of a sweetness to it. Sugar sweet. It's not bad, really. The only off-putting thing I can say is that little bit of wafting, bit of like a adjuncted kind of corn note comes up the back of your throat. If it weren't for that, I'd say it's really delicious. Anyway, I'm going to sit down with this one for a bit. I'll come back with some thoughts. Beer eat. And we're back with Pabst Blue Ribbon. So, what did I think about this one? It's not bad. The really thing that got me is that while I was drinking the beer, it kind of lost something even more for me. Whereas that sweetness started, that cardboardiness that I spoke of in the very back, that lingering little bit of a pastiness, and as well as the sweetness, that's kind of almost like a hollow sweetness, that's got this almost somewhat of a cardboard flavor, just starts to grow on you. And it's that little touch of corn in there kind of makes me think that there's a little bit less of quality in there because they might have used some kind of corn sugar. To be totally honest, it's not a bad lager. This is actually quite a decent lager when you compare it to a lot of the macro brew beers out there. And in that sense, I certainly do recommend this Pabst Blue Ribbon. But for the most part, it's nice on the outside and from appearances and phony on the inside, maybe. Just like a hipster's. Anyway, not to knock too many people, really. I like this beer, and I would get this again personally, but it's not something I'm going to run out to the store and buy all the time. If I were handed this, I would drink it in a heartbeat. And there's even the events where if we're at a party or something and I wanted to bring something fairly inexpensive, then it's not bad. It's one I would suggest. But as an overall beer, there are better lagers out there. Most of them from craft brews. As for this one here, I'm thinking high 3 out of 5. Perhaps bordering on 3.5. It's almost that good. And I imagine you could probably put down a few of these. Just the cardboardiness is there, and it does grow on you after you drink a bit of it. It's just that it's not bad enough to really make you want to throw up the beer or hand it to somebody else. And for that, it gets more than a pass. Yep, it's a decent lager. Anyway, thanks for watching Maxwell Starr's beer review. Talk to you guys later. Cheers.